Welcome back to the channel. This week on the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener, we spent an afternoon in the garden. We do a wee bit of harvesting from the veggie garden. We check out the blueberries, which aren't doing particularly well at the moment. We also take a sneak peek at a potential project for me over winter. And we do a quick tidy up in the front garden for a couple of problem areas. Come potter with me in the garden. My name is Dawn and I am the Kiwi Barefoot Gardener. Good afternoon. Well, it is Tuesday the 20th of January and it's just coming up to 2 o'clock, and I've had some really busy days in the last couple of days, and one where I wasn't feeling too great, so I didn't do very much at all. So it's Tuesday. I haven't started any recording for the vlog yet till now, and the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, are supposed to be stink. So we're going to have an afternoon in the garden and try and get a few things done before the weather packs up. We'll do a bit of harvesting, I think. I'm not quite sure what else we'll do. We'll see how it goes, and yeah, just see where the garden leads me. So let's get into the harvesting. I'm going to start with the strawberries and then move on from there. I think some peas might be ready. Want to get some silver beet and anything else that's ready. And I know there is at least one very large courgette back here because I turned my back on it. Never turn your back on a courgette. Anyway, let's get on with it. We'll do a bit of speedy and a bit of music, and we'll see what I get by the end of it. Took me a few more minutes longer than I thought, but I did get a good haul. So let's have a look at what I got. So I harvested a lettuce. These are pick and come again ones, so but if it's going to be raining for the next 3 days, I don't really want to be popping in and out in the rain to get lettuce. Plus it is getting, I've been doing it to a couple of the others, but this one I haven't touched, and it's starting to get to the point that I need to either pick it and use it, or it's just going to go, this variety isn't one I grew from seed myself. It's one I just happened to see in the garden centre that I go to, and it interested me because I hadn't seen it before. And this is a mini, I think it's a mini Tom Thumb, I think it's called. It's so like a Tom Thumb small, but this is or a mini gem or something like that. So I mean, what I've tasted so far has been nice, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes. It's got a wee solid centre, nice leaves on the outside, and they've been what I've been picking on the other ones. So yeah, see if I can get some seed for this. I've got the label over in the bed, so I will remember exactly what I want. But yeah, pretty happy with that. And so that's that. What else did I? Strawberries have definitely passed their use by date at the moment. I only got a tiny bowl. Sorry, it's probably hard to see you. Strawberries in a red bowl. A lot of them, because we've had rain on and off with showers and what have you since I last picked, have gone yuck. Yeah, they've just gone soft and manky. So that's kind of shame. But there's a lot of new leaf growth at the base, so I might get a late flush. Don't know, we'll see. Because I did give it a feed and what have you not so long ago. So, and we've got 3 more days of rain coming, so that might help it as well. But yeah, there's not many flowers on there, and the fruit that is there, some of it's been going, sort of almost like, well, it's getting like seedy on the outside, really seedy, not just the normal seedy, prominent seedy, and almost like a dried strawberry for some of them, and yet there's been getting plenty of water, so go figure. So that's that. I got some peas. The peas are not happy with this damp weather. They've definitely got a good dose of powdery mildew, definitely around the bottom, and it's heading up. So let's hope that I get a good crop out of what's there, and then I'll have to rip out there. But yeah, I've probably got, a dozen pots, so they'll do for a stir fry, as an added to that. I went and got some carrots because I don't really want to be going out in the next few days to harvest carrots. So I've got a good bunch. I'll take the tops off in a minute. It's always good to take the tops off your carrots as quickly as possible. It stops them going floppy and what have you. So do that in a minute. But yeah, most of them. And interestingly, these are meant to be 2-shon, but they've got pointy ends where it should be more like that one there with a blunt end, albeit with a bit more roots than it should have. It should only have the one tap root. So I've obviously disturbed them and they've got a bit grumpy. I've got a few mutant looking ones there as well. The carrot tops at one end of the bed are a bit bleh, due to a small furry creature who has decided to take up residence in there on hot days and or to hide from his brother. So it's got a bit trashed. So I'll slowly harvest those in the next few days. What else did I get? Well, I said about the courgette, so I found 2, one normal size, which is the size I should be picking them, and one I turned my back on. So it's all right, I'll sort them out and we'll come up with something. Actually, that one's got a wee bit of a split on its bottom, probably because we've had that rain and it might have got a bit too much rain. And yeah, because it feels really heavy. So anyway, a couple of courgettes. The other thing I got was a scallopini. So I've had one of these so far. They're not as prolific as courgettes usually. This is one called Green Tint. I did try and grow a yellow one, but it, for some reason, the one on there I think just died due to cat assistance. And then I just couldn't get another one to strike properly. So yeah, anyway, the green tint one's good. Okay, and I find these quite good to use in stir fries and what have you. You can make them into little julienne ribbon type things because they're a lot firmer flesh than the courgette. So yeah, they're quite good for that. So that will get used for stir fries and things. The other thing I did, I'll show it there, is I harvested a basket of silver beet, and that's a mixture of the bright lights and the peppermint chard, or peppermint one. So that's the peppermint one, and these are the bright lights. So you usually get a red, a yellow and a green, and there though I seem to have a lot more red in the plants, and it's just hit and miss because you can't sort of choose, use one of those mixed packets. So yeah, quite happy with that. So I'll get this inside and then come back out and we'll do a bit more. Okay, so not the best camera angle, but I'm trying to show you the onions at the moment. Now, last week when we were harvesting the spring onions, these were all tall and were in the way of the camera and what have you. Just like this cat is always in the way of the camera, aren't you, Lou? But just in the last few days, the necks have gone, which means that they're not actually that far away from being harvested. So that's good because they're quite big. They're about as big as I want, but and even the red ones are going over. So I'll see how they are by the end of the wet weather and what have you, and if we can get a spell of dry weather, all the better, because it's quite good to harvest your onions after a spell of dry weather. And then I'll get them harvested and then start using this for some more succession sowing of carrots and onions. So that's really good that they've started to go over. Hello, darling. Have you come to say hello to everyone? Yes. Yeah? You come to say hello to everyone. That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He won't be very happy with the wet weather. While it doesn't bother him to be out in the rain and things like that, it just means that I won't be out here, which will be the thing that annoys him the most. Okay, so another really odd angle, sorry about that, but it's the slope of this land. Blueberries, they are not doing well. So this is the one that had been doing better in the small bed here, and it's just not this year. It's looking really poor. The new one is looking okay, but probably could look better considering it's a new one. The one in the far bed, that's the old one that I cut really hard back and is just waiting to see it grow. It's ticking away quite nicely. Now, the one that I dug out to replace the new one, and I potted it up and stuck it on the deck, it's doing really well. It's come back to health and everything like that. So I am thinking that it must be something to do with this bed. Now, these flowers aren't helping. I did clear it out completely, not that long ago, but I made the mistake of putting calendula in here a while back, and of course it just keeps self-seeding, and I just get busy and forget to come and pull it out again. So I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm going to pull some of this out. I'll leave a wee bit right along the edge, but which is quite nice for the bees and things like that. But yeah, not quite sure what's going on there, but yeah, we'll see. So I've been thinking about what could be wrong with them, and while they had a good feed of compost and peat over the winter when we did the transplanting of the new one and moving of the older one that was looking very unwell, maybe this box is just not right for it. Now, I'm not sure if it's just because of the exposure, like geography type exposure, the wind, the sun, or what have you, or the soil for some reason isn't the right pH, even though I've tried to amend it. So I've got this gadget. Now, it was one of those things that I bought from a certain company, thinking that it was something else because that's what it was advertised as, something else. So I was looking for a gauge for soil temperature, and the advertisement said that this was a three-way one which had soil temperature. When I got it, it wasn't. It was a moisture, light and pH meter. So I contacted the company and said to them, yeah, that's not what I bought. The one that you sent me is actually, in theory, the cheaper one. I bought the one that was meant to do the moisture meter, not the moisture meter, the temperature. So they sent me the one as per the code that I sent them, and they sent me exactly the same thing again. So anyway, I've kept it. I've just given up. So this being a pH meter, I thought I'd give it a try and see what happens. So I'll jam it in. You're meant to just put it in as deeply as you can, and it's meant to register the pH. I have no idea how it picks it up in the dry soil, which it says it is dry. I'll give it a few moments. Doesn't seem to be registering. It's definitely on pH. Okay. Doesn't say to turn it on anywhere. It's not batteries, I don't think. Okay, let me have a bit more of a look. Okay, I've had another look at it. It doesn't appear to have a battery, but and I did read the instructions on the back of the packet, but because I literally just pulled it out of the packet. I might leave it there for a bit while we tidy up the calendula. So I've tidied up most of the calendula, and there's just about 2 there, 3 maybe, and I'll leave them there for the bees and I'll just have to keep pulling the seedlings out as they come up. So I've had another look at it. It's definitely working. So if you switch it to light and or moisture, it works. So I'm not sure why the pH bit's not working. So what I'll do is I'll try it again and something else and see if I can get it to work and see what the pH in the soil is here. Sort of thought that measuring pH with something like this was a bit dodgy, but it was worth a try. And as it originally was bought for something different, i.e. the temperature of the soil, it was just sort of a leftover really. Anyway, upwards and onwards and see what else needs doing. So while we're out this end of the garden, I just wanted to show you something because I'm thinking of doing a bit of a project, for a better word, over winter, but it depends on a couple of things. So I'll show you the area that I'm looking at and see if you guys have got any ideas as far as maybe how I could achieve it on a budget. Right, now the camera's not at level, so I can tell you that now because the slope on this is quite steep. And along this fence here, I've got an area of about, I think it's about 10 metres from the fence way over there corner to where I'm sitting. The camera probably doesn't show it. And at the moment, as you can see, we've got a half height fence, it's about 1 metre, and then we've got hedge. Now, we're looking at changing that out in conjunction with our neighbours and putting just a full height fence and hopefully getting rid of the hedges because we can't chop them down easily anymore and the neighbours can't get to them either. So we're looking at changing that up. But with it changing, what I'd like to do is use that area for more garden. Yeah, I'll get told off for that, but yeah, more garden. But I don't want to put in any more raised beds because they're expensive and I just don't have the cash for that at the moment, especially if we're doing our half of the fence thing. So what I was thinking of is that I've actually got quite a lot of stuff in pots and, you know, those black planters, and putting them down here up against the fence. But there's a couple of problems with that. First of all, it's grassed at the moment, so it will need to have a change of surface because if it's grassed and I put them there, husband and his weed whacker will destroy the pots. Been there, done that, got the debris to show it. So yeah, so I had thought about making a strip as wide as the bed that's down here I'm sitting next to and putting in those planters and things like that. The thing I could do on top of that is like have my fruit planters at the back of it and growing up the fence for things like cane type stuff, and then put the potato pots in between rather than having down the side where they are getting quite bashed. The potatoes foliage gets bashed with the easterly wind. This area won't get the afternoon sun, but it will definitely get a good bit of morning and day sun in summer, and it'll get way over the 6 to 8 hours it needs. So yeah, still thinking about a project. If you've got any thoughts, just leave them in the comments and let me know what you think. I was thinking like a wooden edge with something, a weed membrane of some sort, and then putting down shingles similar to what I did with the tayberry, but on a bigger scale. Yeah, so that was thought number one. Paving it wouldn't probably work, and I don't want to lay concrete. So yeah, and if you got any other thoughts, let me know. I'm up on the deck now. So these are my tomatoes. I've got 3 of them here, a couple of capsicums, a cucumber, and I'll show you the blueberry in the minute that's been in the pot. The capsicums haven't done particularly well. I think it's probably because they were in their other pots way too long before I planted them out. But yeah, they are what they are. The tomatoes, on the other hand, have done really well. Well, mostly. Interestingly enough, the sun gold hasn't really been as prolific as it often is. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why that is. It needs tying up, so that's something I've got to do at the moment. This triffid here is meant to be a red nashy pear. I was gifted the seedling, and I actually had 2 of them, but despite being wrapped up and put in the greenhouse, one of them got frosted. It does not like frost, so it has spent the last couple of winters in the greenhouse wrapped up, again this last winter, and then it's got dragged around here and popped up on the deck for the summer, and it is growing. It's got 2 main stems, which isn't ideal, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, so not sure exactly if it's going to produce anything. It's starting to get a few more lateral branches, which is something it didn't have for a long time. It was just sort of a stem with a few leaves. So we'll see how it is. I mean, it doesn't hurt for it to sit on the deck all summer. It gets fed and watered when the tomatoes do, basically. So, but yeah, I'm going to tie up these tomatoes, especially the sun gold, because it's everywhere. Yeah, it hasn't been well tended, mainly because it's not in the greenhouse, and I tend to forget about the outside tomatoes. Tidied up the tomatoes, tied them up and trimmed them up and give them a nice little sorting out, basically. And now I've shoved them out into the middle of the deck so that if we're going to get rain, they'll get some water, which will be quite nice for them to get some rainwater. They are underneath the eaves here, so they don't often get a lot of rain. It's tap water usually, so yeah, it'll be good for them. And I've moved my triffid here as well. He can have a bit of a drink, so can have a look at the blueberry that I was telling you about and show you how well it's doing in the pot. Remembering that we gave it a really good haircut right back because it was looking decidedly sick. I'll see if I can find a photo of it. I'm not sure if I've got one, and pop it up, but otherwise you'll just have to remember back to that vlog, which is, oh, where's it? It's a fair bit back. So I'll move the camera and you can have a look. Okay, there he is in the pot that we popped him in. He's put out some excellent looking growth as she pulls a piece off, silly me. Yeah, quite happy with the way it's recovered. Probably, I fed it not that long ago, but yeah, I'll pop it out and it can get a bit of rain in the next few days. I'm sure it'll appreciate it rather than the hose. It is getting nibbled by something. You can see that some of the leaves have been eaten by something. I'm not sure what. There's nothing obvious, but yeah, quite happy with that. So the other thing I've got here, excuse the noise of the chair going back, and I think you'll be able to see it. Yeah, should be able to. This is one of the patio snackers, and this is an outside one that I put out, thinking it would be okay out here. Yeah, it's done okay. It's not, you know, anywhere near like the ones inside, which are 10 times or more higher. But it's had a couple of fruit that I've already harvested. There's one there to harvest now, which I'll do. And I've got a few sun gold cherry tomatoes as well when I was cleaning up the other ones. So yeah, happy with that. I'll give this a clip and we'll be away laughing. Yeah, doesn't seem to have any new flowers on it, so not sure if it's going to do much more out here, whereas the one in the greenhouse has still got heaps and heaps and heaps of flowers on it. Maybe after a good drink of rainwater it might decide to do a bit more than what it's doing at the moment. So I've moved from the back garden through to the front, and one of the chores I need to do today is trim the hydrangeas. So we trimmed them, or gave them their winter pruning months ago, and they've come away beautifully as they always do. However, one of the things I get in trouble with the family for is that they do come across the path, and while when it's dry it's not a biggie, when it rains, if anyone's trying to use the front door from the family, they get brushed against that, and yeah. And it's getting to the point just up there, you may or may not see, that there's a very small gap between the one on that side and the one on this side. So I'm out with my pruners and I'll give them a bit of a trim back today, and so that the family will get from the driveway through to the front door without getting wet, other than what's coming directly out of the sky. So that's done. Well, part of it anyway. I started off trimming and taking the leaves off and getting things ready for the compost, etc., but decided it was easier just to take everything off first, and then I'll come back and take the separate the leaves from the stalks, because I find the stalks, even when they're soft like they are at the moment, they'll dry out and they'll just really hard to compost. They just stay, you know, for years as just little hard sticks. So I'll put those, chop them up and put them in the green bin, and the leaves I'll just pop in the compost. So yeah, but it's way better. I'll do a before and after photo and show you in a minute. I'll just pop it up in the side here, and yeah, happy with that. So that's that done. So I'll get on with tidying the leaves up first, and then we'll see what else time we've got. It's after 4 now, but I do want to try and get something more done. I don't know yet what, but we'll have a look, see what I'm feeling up to. Well, many of you see Lou with me all the time. You don't often see Bo in shot, but this is what he often does. He's just been sitting behind me while I've been trimming up the hydrangeas, just sitting there in the bed, just watching. It's a true Bo thing. Isn't it, Bobo? Yeah, you're just a watcher. Well, it's just coming up to 5 o'clock. The afternoon's flown by. So I tidied up the hydrangeas. It took me a while to strip the stalks and put the leaves in the compost bin, etc. And I've thrown a whole lot of wood chips and things like that in there as my carbon, so that's good. This is something I need to address too, and I'm going to have to seriously think over winter if I just dig the whole thing out. So this is lemon balm, and I do like it, and I occasionally like it as a tea, but I'm not sure if I want it as a plant in the garden, because it is a bit of a bully plant. As you can see, it's grown huge, and it's had 2 prunings in the last 6 months. So yeah, it's just about to flower. You can see the wee white flowers there, but what I might do is just give it a very tiny sort of haircut on the top for now, just to sort of make it look slightly less dominant of this bed and give everything else a bit more room. So yeah, I will do that, and we'll probably do some more speedy and some more music. Tidied up, and I'm running out of steam, so it's just after 5 now. It didn't take too long to do, so I'm going to call it a day and see how the weather goes over the next few days. Tomorrow's meant to be showers and then into rain, so how quickly that happens will dictate to what else I get up to. And if it rains all the way through till Sunday, which is what they're saying, it's going to be wet out here. So I'm definitely going to have to find indoor activities to do. But I've still, you won't believe it, I still haven't finished doing my seeds. So I'll definitely get on with them. So that will give me something garden related to do. And if I can sneak out into the greenhouse, I'll do that as well. Which is actually something I need to do first thing tomorrow morning, is get out there, make sure everything's got a good water and that it's all tidied up and anything that needs harvesting, because I haven't been in there for a few days. I think Sunday was the last day I was in there, and today's Tuesday, so it's been a couple of days. So I'm going to leave it there for now, and I will catch up with you again soon. Okay, it's that time of week that we catch up for a coffee and a chat. But before we get into that, I just want to acknowledge that some people have been having a really rough week this week with the bad weather. Some areas have been significantly impacted with flooding and things like that. And we know about the tragedy up at Mount Maunganui campground. So my heart goes out to everyone, and just want to express my love and support for everyone. So what did we get up to this week? Well, it was a bit of a funny old week for me. Weekend was a bit of a write-off with other things. Monday was a day for me, so I didn't do much of anything. And then I didn't get out into the garden till Tuesday afternoon. And then Wednesday, Thursday have just been horrible wet right around the country. Thankfully, Canterbury hasn't been impacted the way other areas, and as I've said earlier, my heart goes out to everyone that has been impacted. And this morning is Friday, and it is just coming up 10 o'clock, and we're forecast more rain and more thunderstorms. So if anyone knows where summer's gone, could they please send it back, because it seems to have disappeared. So after all that, I just got really Tuesday afternoon in the garden, which actually turned out to be quite a productive afternoon. We started off by harvesting some veggies. We got quite a lot actually, way more than I expected. There was a few hidden gems there. And actually, this morning, while I was doing a few things out here, I found 2 more of my scallopini already. So yeah, one bigger than the other. So I'll probably cut those in half across the saucer, scoop them out, and then fill them up with mince and top them with cheese. They're very nice that way. So that's what I'll probably do with them. So we got lettuce, silver beet, carrots, courgettes, scallopini, and a few peas. So that was awesome. Really happy with that. We had a quick check out of how my onions are doing, and even more of them have flopped over in the last couple of days. So at the moment, the weather forecast is for dryish weather next week, I'm hoping. So if by the end of that they look like they're ready to harvest, that would be good. But finding a spot for them to actually cure is going to be a bit of an issue with all this rain, and I might have to do what I did last year and hang them in the garage, which wasn't ideal, but it is what it is. We checked out my blueberries, which are doing very badly. Still haven't worked out how to get that gauge thing to work. So I'll have another look at it today or tomorrow. Then we tidied up the tomatoes up on the deck, and I shoved them out into the middle of the deck for the rain. I've just shoved them back this morning because we've got potential thunderstorm / hail. I thought, yeah, they needed a bit of shelter. Not sure that we'll get it. It tends to go round either way, so we tend to miss that bit. But yeah, yeah, so that was good. Got that sorted. Then we nipped out to the front of the garden and did a couple of things there that were problem areas. Definitely tidied up the hydrangeas, which, yeah, was good. It was something I needed to do before hubby did it, because if hubby does it, it will just get right back. So I've given it a good prune, but not a mad prune. And then I just gave the lemon balm a wee bit of a tidied up. It was something that probably didn't need to be done, but it was annoying me because I've already pruned it twice in the last 6 months. And as I said the other day, I'm in two minds about turfing it out because it's just such a bully plant, and I want something with a wee bit lower profile there, or a wee bit softer profile. So yeah, I'll have to think about that one. One of the other things we did do when we were in the back garden was have a look at an area where I'm thinking of doing a project this coming winter. I'm still thinking about it. I'm thinking a lot about different parts of my garden, but I'll have to cost it out and see if it's doable. I mean, it's not even worth doing unless the fence gets raised and we sort out that hedge thing. So that's still the big question mark. I've been doing some more planting for my seedlings and like for autumn, just quietly trying to get on with it. Just finding it a bit difficult to find a place to put the seeds trays, because my normal place out the back's been getting trashed with the easterly, and it's potentially a bit warm in the greenhouse. Brassicas don't like to germinate in the heat. They like between 15 and 20, and of course the greenhouse is always, on a day where the sun is, it's above 20. So I'll have to keep thinking about that one. At the moment, they're just stuck in the garage. It's warm there. They've not actually germinated, so there's no actual green up yet. So there's no need for direct light. So we'll see how it goes. So just a wee bit on subscribers. It's going quite nicely. Thank you very much, everyone who's subscribed today. I really appreciate it. And as I've indicated previously, if you have subscribed earlier along my journey, do just check that you still subscribe, because YouTube does some weird things and unsubscribes people from channels that they've subscribed to for no particular reason other than it seems to be a glitch. Well, I'll leave it there now. I've got a few things I need to do. The greenhouse needs water and a few other things need doing before the weather packs up again. So I'm going to get on with that for the rest of the morning. So have a happy and safe week. And from me for now, bye.